And we are live on Instagram. DenCo Gridiron.
Hey, everybody. Show. We are hopping on here just a few minutes early. John Piper along with Grayson Nolette.
What's up, everybody?
We're on with Instagram Live right over here. We've got YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook Live. Make sure you share this out.
Make sure you like and comment as well if you can.
Yeah, let us know where you're coming in from. We are going to have head coach Todd Rogers from the Argyle Eagles join us live here about 12:15 or so. And then head coach Cody Moore from the Braswell Bengals will join us as well. So we've got not one, but two coaches on today. Looking forward to having their insight and feedback. Argyle kicked off their season last Friday night, and going to be some good stuff. So stay locked in and loaded. Share this out, comment, and we'll be right back.
Thank you for joining us if you're on Instagram right now. Grayson Nolette alongside John Piper for the DenCo Gridiron Show today. We don't have one, but we've got two guest appearances by head coach of the Argyle Eagles, Todd Rogers, and head coach of the Denton Braswell Bengals, Cody Moore, as well. Make sure you tune in for both of these throughout today's show. And tell us how you feel about the new camera angle here on Instagram. We had a slightly different one last week. That was more... we had the tall angle last week. This week we've gone.
We do apologize to the Instagram audience. Next week, I promise you, we'll pipe in our complete audio package.
That'll be cool.
We got some good music going right now. Got to get your mind right, get you ready for some action. So remind me of that, Grayson. That's on me, guys. That's on me.
All right, we got you guys. Don't worry. We're making upgrades every week. Tell us how you feel about whatever you see. Tell us about if you see something you like, see something you maybe think we could do better on or fix, just let us know. We're learning every week. We're improving every week. And that's all we're trying to do for you guys, is just give you all some good content out here.
How's everybody doing on this Wednesday? It's a wet Wednesday too, Grayson.
It is. It's a little rainy out there.
Hey, just glad we're not out on the field today.
Glad we've got power. I'm glad we've got internet.
Power, internet. We are here from the studio. Actually, that's a picture of historic Denton, Texas, right here behind us. Great spot. We encourage you to come out and hang out. Maybe one week for the fans, Grayson, we'll kind of have a little luncheon maybe after the show. Maybe meet over at LSA Burger or something, have a little DenCo Gridiron.
Yeah, we might have to do that one day.
That'd be a lot of fun.
We're located just on the other side of the building that you see behind us there on the Denton Square.
All right, we're about 1 minute to our kickoff on this second show of the season. And hey, Grayson, I don't know about you. I just feel blessed, fortunate that we can talk some football and get ready for a big Texas high school football season.
It's crazy to think that so many teams actually did end up playing this past weekend. And out of the 9 schools that we get to cover here on the show, only one of them ended up playing. But we are absolutely blessed to be able to just talk some football nonetheless, and actually have the coach that got to participate in that game on today's show, and Todd Rogers. So really excited to just have him on. Be able to discuss, what it's like to be out there on the field during 2020.
Well, folks, here we go. 30 seconds till we go live on the show. Hey guys, thank you for tuning in. Your comments are always appreciated. John Piper along with Grayson Nolette, man. How you doing
Welcome
today?
in, guys. Welcome in. Episode 2 of season 4 of the DenCo Gridiron Show.
We were talking as we were preparing, sports is back. The Mavericks had a nice little run, especially the sensational Luka. Man, what a performance he had.
It was a lot of fun. A lot of fun to watch the Mavericks just battle it out with the LA Clippers. I felt like a lot of people just didn't give the Dallas Mavs a chance on paper. And oh man, the Clippers, they're just destined to go. They got Kawhi, they got Paul George or whatever. But man, Luka, whether he had KP on the court with him or not, and he just went out there, he made a game winner and able to snatch a couple wins and really give the LA Clippers a run for their money, John.
And then, the Dallas Stars. But before we do that, for people that are just tuning in or watching this on the replay, this is the DenCo Gridiron Show, fourth season of action. We cover 9 area high schools right here in the heart of Denton, Texas, Denton County, Texas. And just so fortunate to do that. The coaches that come on, the players. This season, we're going to be live every Wednesday at noon. And then also once the 5A and 6A teams start rocking and rolling, we'll be back on Saturdays. I guess our first show will be, I think it's Saturday, the 26th.
The 26th,
I believe.
Yeah. So a couple weeks from now when
so we'll have
a majority of our teams, get back out on there on the field. So that'll be a lot of fun. Wednesdays will kind of be but once that gets rolling, we'll hopefully be able to turn Wednesdays into more preview type shows where we're kind of looking ahead to Friday and Thursday night or whenever our teams are playing. And then Saturday will be a big recap show and we'll be able to go over all the action that went down.
Yeah. And that'll also give us an opportunity on Saturdays to maybe bring on some players.
That'd be a lot of fun.
Coaches can join us on, we actually
anytime.
have 2 coaches today, Coach Todd Rogers and Cody Moore of the Argyle Eagles and the Braswell Bengals. Will be joining us. Coach Rogers will be joining us here just in a few minutes. I'll bring up his photo there. And so make sure you share this out, comment, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, or right over here on Instagram, people.
Thank you guys for tuning in. No matter where you are. I can't see the
comments there, Grayson.
We've got some people watching over here on Instagram. And hey, if you want to switch around, go from Facebook to Instagram in the middle of the show. We ain't going to get mad at you. As the fact that you guys are here joining us to talk some Texas high school football today is it just makes the world to us. Just glad that we can be out here, John.
Yeah, good stuff. Man, Dallas Cowboys, the football team, America's team, they're starting to do their mini camps, training camps, getting ready. You were just telling me Mike McCarthy's really got things locked down over there. At the Star.
Yeah, some people are starting to think that Mike McCarthy is kind of taking the reins over there in some organizational preferences for the Dallas Cowboys due to some security type of reasons, John. Just from what I've read about it is that over there in their practice facilities that they're starting to shut out media and shut out any of their rental office spaces that people can take over there, and they're removing jersey numbers from players in practices.
Why would they treat the media so poorly?
I mean, I don't know, because you're America's team. There's more eyes on the Dallas Cowboys than arguably any other team in professional football, arguably in professional sports. And if Mike McCarthy just thinks, hey, I'm not very comfortable with our practice footage ending up on the news or ending up in public spaces where anybody can see us, and we're trying to build a championship type of playbook and roster here. And, Jerry Jones, all he had to say about it was, look, let's just say that me and Mike are on the same page about this. And that if I didn't agree, we wouldn't be rolling with these rules the way that we are. So, who knows why they're wanting to lock ship on the media and things like that. But, I don't entirely blame them.
Well, Grayson, let's jump in. I had a chance. We've talked before with the UIL softening the live stream rules. You and I both, we wanted to go to the Argyle game last Friday night, but due to COVID and some of the restrictions, and we totally get it. We don't take it personal.
Yeah, we weren't trying to ruffle any feathers. We just wanted to see if we can make it.
Very limited, I think, fans from what I could see on the video, and then obviously media was restricted as well, especially press box and even field passes. So I had the opportunity to watch on YouTube, and of course Argyle does a great job with their broadcast team, Kenny and Blake and the rest of the guys. I was watching the YouTube stream, and I don't know if you had a chance to pop on at all.
I wasn't able to pop on live because if anybody's aware, I am in grad school. So, also trying to balance the show here with just getting warmed up into that. Just started classes last week. But then I immediately, once I was finished up with all my work, caught the highlights and was able to find some highlights of the game on YouTube.
Well, of course, the final score was a little surprising. Honestly, I thought it'd be a little closer game. Neither team had a chance to do a preseason scrimmage. We weren't sure what was going to come.
We weren't sure how much rust there was to shake off.
It was hot.
You know?
I mean, it was. I'm sure field temperatures were like 110, 112. So, Argyle has a high-powered offense, but you think, man, that heat might slow them down a little bit. It did not. 56-9. Man, bruising victory against Decatur on Friday night at Argyle Eagle Stadium.
And I mean, I know that there's always big expectations for the Eagles. They're just one of the most dominant teams in Texas high school football, especially in District 4A. And I think that nobody just expected them to look as good as they did, which is really saying something because as they just have so much talent. But I mean, from the absolute start of the game, Argyle did not lose a single beat. I mean, the first play from scrimmage, running back Edo Bice took it 74 yards to the house, and they just never looked back.
Yeah, one thing when we get Coach Rogers on, man, one reason we do this show is for the athlete, for that student athlete, and Tito Bice. What a great story! We talked about him last week on the preseason show. Grayson, comes back from that injury, and we looked at the stat sheet, and only one carry, and we think, oh man, did he get injured? And we're going to ask Coach Rogers about that.
Right, we'll ask him about that
when we have him on. But only one carry, 74 yards, but they distributed the ball. A couple different running backs that I think they had 4 guys average. I think had total yards of around 60, 70 yards each.
Yeah, they distributed the ball very well in the backfield. Junior Knox Scoggins had 50 yards rushing. Senior Braden Baker had 76 yards and a touchdown on the ground on 11 carries. And then junior Peyton Shoemake had 70 yards and a touchdown as well. But as a team, on the ground, extremely impressive. They had 31 carries, 279 yards, 3 rushing touchdowns, averaging just above 9 yards per carry, John. So you are not going to have any complaints from your offensive coordinator when you're running the ball like that.
Well, hey, at halftime, Argyle had already amassed 416 yards of total offense. I mean, golly.
While also holding Decatur to just 111. So, don't dismiss Argyle's defense either. They were locked in on that side of the ball as well.
Yeah, one thing they were talking about earlier, the way Argyle was scoring so quickly that, man, it was kind of gassing the Argyle defense. But they held their own, and Decatur could not find really hardly any ways to score on that Argyle defense.
Yeah, it was 42-3 by the half, and then they just kept their foot right on the gas going into the second half. And to just put another exclamation point on the defensive side of the ball, Argyle's defense just shut down Decatur's offense in the second half. They forced 3 straight turnovers on Decatur's first 3 drives of the second half, and they totaled 5 turnovers on the night.
Yeah, man, crazy stuff. No doubt, quarterback C.J. Rogers, looks solid in his debut there, at the helm at that quarterback position. A lot of great ones have come through Argyle. Bo Cephas, Bo Hogaboom, set some all-time records there, so big shoes to fill. But C.J. Rogers got off to a great start.
Yeah, looked really solid in his debut. He was 12 for 16, 209 yards, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions, and he actually did a fantastic job of spreading the ball around, John. He was able to complete passes to 9 different receivers, and he hit 4 different players for touchdowns. Cole Kirkpatrick caught one, Cash Jones caught one, Hayden Stewart, and then Jasper Lott, the tight end that we talked about last show, John, he had 2 touchdown catches.
Hey, several running backs got touches aside from Bice. Knox Scoggins, 50 yards, senior Braden Baker, 11 carries on 76 yards and 1 TD, and junior Peyton Shoemake, 10 carries, 70 yards. Good stuff right there. What were some of the thoughts going into this game, Grayson? You heard some things that Coach Rogers said, during the offseason and how it's been. What were some of the thoughts that Coach Rogers had going into this one? I think that similar to how a lot of people have just been approaching handling
COVID regulations and things like that in general, whether you're in sports or not, you kind of just take it as you go, and you can only know what you know, and you don't know what's entirely going to happen until you've gone out there and done it. And now, Argyle's gone out there, face shields and all, regulations and all, and they were able to still get a massive W against Decatur. And I know that we want to talk to Todd Rogers about how he was able to make that happen for his team, but he's already talked about how the Eagles were just extremely focused throughout practices and things like that. And, it's always just about the football. If you can get that product on the field in order, then you're going to come out with a W. And that's exactly what happened for the Eagles.
Yeah, some of the quotes I think we saw in the Denton Record Chronicle, he said, hey, it was awesome, really thankful, miss this a lot. And I'm sure everyone else has. It was a great feeling to be back out on that field. He said he just kind of took a simple approach, make it about football and nothing else.
Yeah,
so,
and like we said, John, I mean, we know that Argyle is a talented team. We know that they expect to dominate, but you just you don't know what kind of changes were going to be made just due to all the regulations and things like that involving COVID. But to see them go out there and not miss a single beat, it probably warmed the hearts of a lot of Eagles fans and just a lot of people who were watching Texas high school football this weekend to say like, hey, this is going on, but it's not going to stop us. We're still going to put a great product out there on the field.
And, the other teams, the 5A, 6A teams in our coverage area are really just starting to roll into their routines. I know first week for Denton ISD, all the classes were online only. And they had some, some field work, some cardio, some conditioning work. I know Geyer had just their freshman camp last week. At night, I had a chance to talk to their longtime trainer, Jana Roper. They said the freshmen were out there from 6 to 8 p.m. each night, which, is about 100 degrees. And she said it went pretty well.
Well, I know that it's a long road ahead for basically every school and every program throughout the season, just to continue to make all of these regulations and everything work for each and every game. So I can't credit the people who are working on each team's season enough.
Well, I think we have an opportunity. I think we got the satellite tuned in just right to bring on Coach Todd Rogers.
Are we ready? Well, let's make it happen.
The weather's a little tough out there, but let's see if we can bring up Coach Todd Rogers to the show. How you doing, Coach?
Oh, I'm good. It's lunchtime.
Oh, there he is. Awesome.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to have to hand it to you. Of all the coaches that we have, you are the most tech-savvy coach I know. You never have any problem connecting, through this technology.
Oh, I don't want to wear that title. I'm not sure I can be that guy.
Well, hey, it's so good to have you. I have to adjust our camera on our end just a minute, but I'm gonna throw it over. I got one question for you, and then I'm gonna throw it over to Grayson. We were talking in pre-show. Tito Bice. I mean, what a great Texas high school athlete he is, and when he only had one carry for the 74 yards to open up the game, we're thinking, oh no, did he, pull a muscle? Did he, tweak a hamstring? Or is his knee bothering him? But we want to ask you, why only the one carry after the 74 yards touchdown to start the game?
Well, that was a pretty long sprint for him, and he felt some tightness back there, and we just says, we don't even care. I mean, that looked pretty good right there, and we felt like we had the game in hand. We felt like we were going to block them well up front. And we have several other running backs that really came into the game and played like dynamite.
Yeah, I could definitely I definitely see where you're coming from on that. You had just a lot of production coming out of the backfield anyways, from a lot of your different players. So definitely see where, you're like, all right, I think we saw enough, and we know that we've got a couple other guys that can carry the rock. But Coach, let me just transition on over to just dealing with this entire offseason and all of these COVID-19 regulations and the rule changes. And you mentioned a Den Record Chronicle that your team, that you guys just focused in, you locked in, and you remain focused on the grind of just putting a good football product out there on the field, despite all these rule changes and things like that. And I just want to know, did that take a bit to adjust to? Was it pretty instant for your guys? Did you kind of have to sit down and, talk to them about how things were going to roll this season, or did they seem pretty focused in from the get-go?
We were very strict during summer conditioning, and we were able to coach skills during summer conditioning and coach, the strength and conditioning piece of it as well. And so we just had very strict guidelines, and we had a very regimented process for coming in each and every day, checking in. And so we built a lot of really good habits, no different than habits in anybody's program. And so when it became football time in early August, all those habits were in place, and we just applied football, and we got to coach football. I was very stressed moving into the football piece of it, but excuse me, I was stressed in the football piece of it. But as we got 2 or 3 days into it, it became about football and not about COVID-19. And once I got to worry about football, I was in my natural environment.
Well, Coach, it's been well documented, how excited you were and the whole Argyle fan base to get back to playing football. A true Friday Night Lights town. It's just an awesome scene. But I was watching it on the YouTube feed. I was great broadcast, by the way. Obviously Kenny does a great job, and Blake on the technical side, and great resource for us on the show. But I was watching on YouTube, and it looks like you did a great job, social distancing the fans and everything. As a coach and for the players, not having a packed stands for that first game on Friday night, what was that like, the atmosphere?
You know what? We had our headsets on, and the excitement, energy on the sidelines was powerful. And I really, there was fewer fans, but there were rabid fans. They were up there yelling and carrying on, and the band was playing. It may be a little bit different feel this week when we go into Pleasant Grove and our band is not playing. But it felt really, really normal. I think we were so excited to finally get to play that that piece of it just got back to football, and it really wasn't about anything else.
Yeah, great stuff right there.
Coach, CJ Rogers is your new starting quarterback this season after being the backup last year, and he obviously did very well in his debut. He tossed 5 touchdowns, got a lot of different players involved in the passing game. What have you seen out of him just since he took over from day one and throughout the whole offseason leading up to, his debut, and how he's become the leader of the offense?
Man, he has put the work in. He's an exciting kid. He relates to others well. One of the driving forces on picking a quarterback that I've always talked with my mentors about is when he steps in the huddle, does he make the other 10 better? And unequivocally, CJ steps in the huddle and makes the other 10 better. Those kids feel the energy and the enthusiasm. They've seen the rocket arm, and they've seen, his good legs get out there and make people miss. And I think they believe in him. And he makes all the throws, and the wide receivers make all the catches. And it's really rewarding to the offensive line when, they're protecting him and he makes a big play. They feel very involved with it. So he's an all-encompassing great kid with a rocket of an arm and a great attitude.
Coach, Tito Bice, we'll be talking about him a lot this season. I'm confident in that. But what an emotional return back to the field, hard fought in the offseason. We talked last week in our preseason show. He's gained 15 pounds of muscle. I think he's reporting now at about right at 200 pounds, 5'11". What a wrecking ball for any high school running back, much less at the 4A level. But what can you say about just the sure determination, the work ethic, and the leadership that he brings to your team?
Well, he's a bundle of energy on the field and off the field, and we love him, and he relates to people just like CJ, and he's a catalyst for an explosive play, and we want to give him the ball as many times as possible in any contest. It was devastating to our whole team when he got injured last year. So him putting in all that work. He was with his teammates every day, guys. That's the critical piece about it. He didn't go train on his own. He didn't do his rehab at home. He was up here in the midst of everybody, training alongside his teammates, and they know all the work he's put in. So they're invested. He's invested. Those are really good components when you're trying to win football games.
Yeah, recovering from an injury as serious as his is is never an easy road back for professional or college athletes at that. But, you know, for you to say that, for him to be as involved with the team as he was throughout that whole process, I couldn't imagine a better way of going about it in his position. And it's just great to see him go back out there. And I mean, you know, first carry, do what he does best. And I know that I'm personally looking forward to seeing more out of him this year.
Yeah, well, us too, and you know, he's got such this electric personality and ability to carry the ball. We need him on our team in a lot of different ways.
Coach, you know, again, the nice thing about the video stream, and have you had much feedback though on people at home watching the video versus just listening to the audio? Well, now you get both. You get the radio feed with the video overlay. Did you get much feedback on that?
Everybody said ours was great, so that's all I heard.
Yeah. Hey, one thing I do want to ask you, I saw you, you know, obviously your patent advisor hat, and you had that plexiglass shield. There it is. There it is.
There it is.
A DenCo Gridiron special.
Shield, I love it.
So we got to ask you, was it hard? Did you fumble around getting the headset on with that, or how was that? How was it comfortable?
No, it's not comfortable. You think I'd be doing this if I had to?
Well, this is a legit question, because I'm probably gonna hopefully try to call a couple of games this year, and I know that they're gonna ask me to do the same thing. So I was curious. You know, did you go headset first and then face shield, or was it face shield first and then headset?
He's fading in and out there for some reason. Hang on, Coach. We lost your video just for a second.
See if we can get head
coach.
We
were touting him how great the technology is. I think he's in there. Coach, if you can hear us, we don't have your video. Well, folks, let me bring up his screen. Here he comes. I think he's coming back in.
Possibly.
Folks, Coach Todd Rogers. Let's see if we can wrap up with Coach Todd Rogers. If we can't, thank you so much, Coach Rogers. We'll give him just a second. One thing I did want to ask him, Grayson, was when he had that face shield on, you know, when I'm sure it was hot and probably a little sweat going when he went to scratch his face, if he ever accidentally, you know, hit that plexiglass face shield. But I'm sure Coach Rogers will be joining us many times throughout the season. So, hey, we do want to thank Coach Todd Rogers for joining us live here on the DenCo Gridiron Show. Coach Rogers, have a great week.
Thanks for joining us,
Coach. Talk to you
soon.
Soon.
We're just excited to see what the Argyle Eagles have in store for us this year. We know that the expectations are high, but I'm sure that their goals are even higher.
Well, Grayson, like we teased on the show, normally, you know, we have maybe one coach on to talk, kind of get him in the DenCo Gridiron den, we call it sometimes, but today we've got two, and we're going to try to bring up Coach Cody Moore all
right,
boy, head coach.
Going right into it.
Well, just a second. Let's bring up
all right
banner, and we'll kind of refresh our drinks.
Well, just in case anybody isn't aware of Coach Cody Moore, head coach of the Braswell Bengals, I've kept track of him for the last couple of years. He's the only head coach in Braswell's history, and he was able to lead them to their first playoff appearance this last season, able to make it to the second round in those playoffs at that. And just the dedication that he's had to that school has been unwavering since his first day, I guess, on campus, you could say. And they've got their first game coming up September 25th against Rockwall. That's going to be on Friday. So we're very excited to bring him on and just be able to discuss the Bengals 2020 season and what we have to look forward to.
Yeah, good stuff right there, Grayson. And let's see if we can bring him up here shortly through the miracle technology. Coach Moore, how you doing, sir?
Good. How are you guys doing? Thanks for having me.
Hey, we're doing great. Glad to have you on the show, Coach.
We're actually 2 for 2. We had Coach Todd Rogers on earlier from Argyle, and I'll have to hand it to you. Not all Texas high school football coaches are real tech savvy, but man, so far so good.
Well, we've been forced to figure it out over the past couple of weeks.
Well, Coach, you know, you and I still have not met face to face, partly due to COVID this season. Last year, you know, one of our reporters came out and had a great interview with you. But once everybody's comfortable, we hope to either have you in studio or we'll come out there to see. How has COVID been up there at Braswell?
We've had our share of obstacles to overcome, just like everybody. But for the most part, we shut down very early on when we got started in June. But really, since that hiccup and we've gotten back rolling, and we haven't had any issues, and we've been pretty steady in our work, and so lately it's gone really well.
Well, Coach, one thing I wanted to ask you to kind of kick things off. It was big news back in March. You've had some success, or a lot of success, at Braswell, and as a head coach. When you have success, people come knocking. So I got to ask you, and I want to play this little clip for about a 24-hour period, or I'm not even sure if it was that long. We'll say 12 to 36 hours. You were named the head coach of the Plano Senior High School team, and I want to play this little clip for you. I think you'll be able to hear it. Let's see if I can get this queued up. Hang on, and then we just want to get your reaction afterwards. Okay, here we go.
There ain't nobody else I want to coach. I'm here. Yeah!
Coach, could you hear that audio?
I could. Yes, I could.
Man, I'll tell you what, just for me, I get goosebumps listening to that. I mean, what does it do to you and the impact that your kids have had on you? And we got to ask you, man, what changed in that 12 to 30 hour period made you say, you know what, Braswell is the place for Cody Moore and my family?
Well, it was never an easy decision to make in the beginning, or to begin with. There were a few things that were intriguing about the job, but ultimately, my heart is here. My family, loves it here. My wife makes a pretty big impact as it pertains to the school building. It was just something that I just didn't feel good about it. After I got back, the reaction of the kids, to be honest with you, I wasn't real sure how they were going to react. But that reaction just kind of reaffirmed my decision. It reaffirmed the gut feeling that I had. It was not an easy thing to do, to back out, for sure. And I felt terrible for it, but I also knew that I knew it was right. And I think after I talked to the kids in the weight room, then it reaffirmed that what I was feeling was true. It was good. And I made the decision I should have.
Well, I can tell you, for the DenCo Gridiron show, Denton ISD, and probably more importantly, Coach Joey Florence, we're all glad you stayed put at Braswell.
I appreciate that. I am too.
Yeah, Coach. Obviously, moving the focus more to this season, the big headline for you guys now is your transition kind of from D2 5A all the way up to 6A with the big dogs and the likes of Den Geyer, and even the Allen Eagles are now in the mix for you guys. Can you just talk about the change of pace that your team is going to be facing this season regarding that, and how you've been preparing your guys and your coaching staff for it?
The interesting thing, we're looking forward to the opportunity and the challenge. I mean, it's going to be a little bit higher level of football, and especially with, teams like Geyer and Allen and Prosper. And we really got a really good district that we not only have made the jump from 5A D2 to 6A, but we've jumped into a very competitive and challenging district. But, we're not new to this. We've made these jumps before. We started out playing varsity football when you didn't have a senior class, and that was tough. And we've kind of met the challenges along the way, and I think we're going to do the same thing here. But we're excited. Our kids are excited. We're ready to make the jump, and looking forward to the opportunity.
Coach Tristan McCleary, your new starting quarterback, he makes the jump from wide receiver last season. Talk to us a little bit about what he's been looking like in the offseason, and what kind of impact he'll have for the Braswell Bengals.
He's had, he's had a great offseason. He looks really good right now. He is such a hardworking, competitive kid. He's so talented. He was able to do lots of things for us. He was on multiple special teams. He played defense. He lined up at receiver, lined up at fullback some of the time, lined up at quarterback, and he's a very versatile kid. He's very talented, and he combines those things with being a great leader, hard worker, and certainly the most competitive kid we have on our team.
Coach, you've got 16 returning starters from last season, to my knowledge. That's one of the bigger numbers I know out of the 9 teams that we cover. But you do have some new spots to fill as well, along with some Letterman players. How do you handle that balance between, those returning starters, those guys that you can trust right off the bat, and also finding the right spot for those new additions as well?
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit more difficult on defense. We're returning 9 on offense. We're losing Grayson Thompson, who's, obviously big shoes to fill there.
Yep, absolutely.
And, our starting running back, who shared a lot of the duties but ended up being the starter toward the end of the year. And then on defense, we're going to have to replace some guys in the back end. I love the guys that we have there right now competing for jobs. We've got a couple of sophomores up. Cam Smith's little brother is actually one of those. And we've got some talent and some prospects in the back end. But the biggest challenge for us is going to be to replace the D-line that we had a year ago. Those guys, for the most part, were very dominant in every game. That's going to be the biggest shoes for us to fill. Certainly, and the biggest void that we'll have moving forward. But we've got guys to do it. We just gotta figure out who that is.
Do you have a specific way of how you approach these things, on how you bring in that competitiveness in practice, and trying to see which guys want to step up and which guys really want to take the job? And do you have a way of going about that?
Well, we want our guys to be comfortable with competition, and we're not going to shy away from the fact that we want as many guys at every position that can get on the field and have a chance to play. And, we look at competition as, it makes us better. Regardless of who the starter ends up being, we got a backup ready to go. And, that could change at a moment's notice too. And we really talk a lot to our kids about embracing that competition at each position.
Coach, you're going to open up your season September 25th against Rockwall. I assume you're still very familiar with some of the coaching staff over there. You're kind of from that tree a couple years ago. Your originally playing game against Mesquite Horn got delayed due to COVID-19 restrictions. How excited is your team and your staff to face off against Rockwall?
We're very excited. I still know a lot of those guys over there. The head coach now is – I worked with him for many years. He's one of my best friends. We still keep in contact a lot. I hate that it didn't work out with Horn because of everything that was going on. But when we had an opportunity to schedule Rockwall, what a great opportunity for our program. It's not only going to prepare us for what we're going to see in district with Rockwall being a great program, but they were Class 6A semifinalists last year, and we're looking forward to the challenge, and it'll give us an opportunity very early to see where we're at. Coach,
was that connection made just because of your past with Rockwall? Was that how you guys were able to make that go down, or was that just a coincidence that that phone call happened? Well,
when we lost Horn because of the Dallas County restrictions,
right?
They had Cedar Hill scheduled, and I knew that, so I immediately got on the phone. I called Coach Brooks over at Rockwall, and I said, "Hey, man, we ought to play and kind of explore, if that's going to be an opportunity or not." And he agreed, and so it was pretty simple once Dallas County made those restrictions.
Coach, again, thank you so much for your time. We hope to have you on throughout the season. Who are some of the up-and-comers, maybe some players, either they moved in? We know Denton County is one of the fastest-growing counties in the country. Man, especially out your corridor, out that 380 corridor, a lot of homes being built, apartments. Who are some up-and-comers, either move-ins or some players that maybe were stars on the freshman team or JV last season that we need to really pay attention to here in 2020?
Well, some of those guys are on defense. You know, again, I mentioned 2 sophomores we had that are going to be up with us on the varsity. Dylan Smith, Bryson Cornelius, Tony Atoya is going to step in and play linebacker. Bryce Montgomery's got an opportunity to play outside linebacker. He was also on the JV last year. And then we've got, of course, we got most of our guys returning on offense. We did get a move in from Georgia. His name is Gridiron Wallace. He's just going to be a sophomore. He's a very, very, very talented player. He'll be up on the varsity with us. So, you know, I'm excited about, you know, where we're at with our program and our guys, our younger guys that are going to be up on the varsity. We've had good success with our JV the last couple of years, and we take pride in that, and looking forward to getting to see them perform on Friday night.
Well, Coach, we're looking forward to seeing what you and your team have to bring to the field here in 2020, especially in this season debut against Rockwall. And we wish the best of luck to you this season.
Thank you guys so much, and thanks for having me.
Yeah, Coach Cody Moore, everybody, head coach, the Denton Braswell Bengals. Coach, have a great rest of your week, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. You guys as well.
And that was Coach Cody Moore of the Braswell Bengals. And John, I heard a couple names in there at the end that I have not heard before. Especially, you know, obviously he said out-of-state transfer, Wallace, I think. But we did discuss the sophomore Dylan Smith, the defensive back last week that he tossed in there, as well as the linebacker Tony Atoya. So we know that the Bengals have a lot of talent to work with, but Coach Moore obviously just confirmed there as well that there are holes to fill and there's some competition to be had in those practices. Yeah,
it's an exciting time of year here. Every school in this Denton County area that we cover has potential to do some great things this season. And I know a lot of people that text me, that talk to me, you know, on a personal level, are just excited about getting the season underway. You know, obviously Argyle, we had Coach Rogers on. If y'all are just now tuning in or watching the replay, we thank you for tuning in. We're on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, and then also
Instagram as well.
Instagram live audience over here. But we do monitor your comments and we appreciate them. So drop in comments if you're watching this at midnight tonight or whenever, 4 a.m. tomorrow before you go work out. We'll see those throughout the week, and we'll try to reply to you. Also, if you have some storylines, maybe some players that we need to maybe do a special segment on, something like that, we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, we're just trying to bring the best content to you guys and trying a bunch of different things every week, just trying to see what works best. So, yeah, feel free to leave a comment and keep tuning into us each Wednesday. We're going to be going Wednesdays and Saturdays once 5 and 6A kick off at September 25th. But our next show will be next Wednesday, so make sure you listen in next time. And thanks for watching.
Hey, Grayson, I do have to ask you, you know, you think we're covering the Pro Bowl over in Hawaii? What's up with that shirt?
Oh, well, in case anybody's wondering why I've been rocking what we call the Aloha shirt, I lived in Maui, Hawaii for about 4 years. During my high school years and stuff, I had the opportunity to go out there with my family. So I hope you guys like the Aloha shirts that I've been rocking. So shout out to all my friends and all my people over there in Maui, Hawaii.
Maybe we'll have to get some Aloha shirts with the DenCo.
I might need to, put the DenCo Gridiron brand on one of them or something. You know what I mean? Then I got my own personal branding going on.
Well, we'll see you all next Wednesday at noon.
Thank you guys for tuning in.
Thank you so much. You have a great week.